to the From the Finney podcast with me, Jake.
Me, Ollie.
And me, Jimmy.
In this episode, we're going to obviously go back over Saturday's 2-0 defeat against QPR, talk about some more dodgy refereeing decisions, the injury situation, and no goals in over 6 hours now. So yeah, enjoy. All right, lads, we good?
Not bad, Jake, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. Jimmy, glad to have you back on. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you only get me on when things are not going to plan, I think. It's third appearance and all on the back of defeats, so thanks, mate.
Did not know that. I'll make a note to get you on off the back of a victory next time.
Might be a while off, but...
Yeah, this at the rate that we're going at the minute. What the hell was that, Ollie?
No, serious, don't worry.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know that, sorry. I've just read your notes now as well. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, before we get into it, as with last week's podcast, we are looking for a sponsor. It costs money to do this. So, maybe surprisingly to some of you, or not surprisingly to others, I don't know. So if anyone that you know, or if you yourself would like to sponsor the pod, you can just drop us an email and we'll sort something out. The email address is fromthefinney@gmail.com. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Just search for From the Finney and you'll find us on there. So yeah, let's get stuck into it. Interesting weekend again.
Yeah.
Not the best weekend.
No, definitely not the best weekend. First clean sheet QPR have kept at home all season.
It kept home or away.
Yeah, kept home
First
all
clean
away.
sheet all season. Funny because we said last week on the pod, at least we'll score away at QPR. And then
we didn't.
We never looked like scoring once yesterday. So
24 games, was it? 23, 24 games?
24 games, half a season basically. So, and we never even attempted to put pressure on their back four. So, yeah, a bit of a shitter really yesterday. 4 defeats in a row.
Their keeper's made one good save all game.
Oh yeah, good save actually from Bill. Yeah, very good save.
But it's that late on in the game that, I suppose on reflection, we've not actually really tested them at all yesterday, which is probably the most thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I only listened to the second half. No, sorry, I only listened to the first half and then the second half of the second half. And from what I listened to, it sounded like there was only Bill that had a good opportunity in the second half that the keeper made a good save from.
I can't really remember too many chances, to be honest. Maguire had one in the first half when he got onto a free ball, but never really looked like scoring. But
he wasn't clinical.
Yeah.
I thought.
No, he took a bit long on his left foot, didn't he?
Yeah.
But no, just created nothing all day, really. Bit of a weird one.
It's
3 shots on target all game, though. I mean, against a team that have leaked goals this season. I mean,
yeah, I think League's putting it politely as well.
Yeah, I think before yesterday, I think they conceded 16 goals in the last 7 games.
I think they've averaged conceding 2.2 goals per game this season until yesterday.
Yeah, and they were winless in 7, I think, weren't they?
Yeah.
As well. So
by all accounts, I think their last performance was it a draw.
I think it was Derby. Yeah, played Derby.
Yeah, Derby away.
Yeah.
It was by all accounts an improved performance, but even still, not even to test the keeper properly.
Yeah, difference between last season's performance there as well was massive.
Yeah.
Last season we went there and pressed them, absolutely battered them really, and yesterday was completely different.
Yeah, Stockley got his first goal there last season, didn't he? Potts, odd stories.
Even yesterday, I know we've had injuries and stuff. The energy just wasn't there. I don't know if it's confidence or whatever, but the energy just wasn't there.
I think it is an element of confidence. This group, I think we mentioned it last week, this group look, whenever we get a number of sort of semi-serious injuries, the rest of the squad just look to lose confidence. It's almost like they don't have belief in their own ability without our key players.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Certainly look like that anyway.
We've got a strong 13 or 14, haven't we? And I think as soon as we get past that point, and having 5, maybe 6 out of your first choice 11 out yesterday, we do look a little bit decimated. And that next level of quality, and you look at some of the sides in this division, they'll have a little bit of an injury crisis. There might miss 3 or 4 players, but it won't affect them as adversely as it's affecting us.
No. Yeah. Because they'll either have strength and depth in their actual squad, or they can promote youth.
Yeah.
Which, again, is something that the manager's done in bits and bobs in the past, but you never aside from Ben Davis, you never really see young players coming through here.
Mm-hmm. Josh Earl was a bit of a fluke as well, because he was on loan at Lancaster, I think, and he made his debut, so it's not something we can rely on. But there's players there, like Ledson, Bayliss, Andre Green, Ginelli, Nugent, Harrop, Bowden, but he's just not using them.
To be honest, out of that list there, I think there's only really Harrop and Bowden that I think would push the starting 11 for making a claim at a start themselves.
Yeah, sometimes it just feels like even when players are going through a bad spell, they're just reluctant to not have them on the pitch.
I think out of those as well, there's only Bowden and Nugent that's over 24.
Yeah.
Every single one of them's a young player.
Yeah.
You look at, I think you'll come on to it later, but Bayliss and Ginelli, they're all young lads. And it's like, well, can you actually, and they're unproven at this level as well. So for me, we've probably just not got that strength in depth, and it's sort of catching up with us a little bit now.
Yeah, you probably need to bed them sort of players in when you're on a good spell.
Yeah.
Just bed them in nice and easy. But even when we were winning, obviously in hindsight, it's easy to say, but when we were winning, we were lucky that we just getting through games with like the same 11, 12, 13 players.
Yeah.
But surely on Tuesday they'll make a few changes, because they has to anyway. Because you can't lose 4 games in a row
and not change it up.
Yeah, he's got to.
Well, I mean, we've said obviously in the past, and we've taken quite a bit of shit for it, that Stockley, for the most part, isn't good enough, but he will have games that suit him. And I think the persistence of Neil to stick with him in the last 2 or 3 games when he's largely been ineffective.
Yeah, I don't really want to go over old ground on Stockley, because I think it's quite clear that I don't rate him, but
no, my intention isn't to go over old ground.
Our best spell of form came when we had like a more
fluid front three.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I think he came in the Blackburn game, didn't he? Changed the game, to be fair to him, changed the game, but it's too easy to just go direct to him, and he doesn't hold it up.
Like you tweeted, I think on Saturday afternoon, the difference between Stockley and Hugill is alarming.
Yeah, especially when they're on the same pitch, and you can Hugill's just a different animal. And
he absolutely is.
When you're in a bit of a spell like we are, you need someone like that up front who's gonna keep you up the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my intention with bringing Stockley up, like I said, wasn't to go over old ground, but was to point to the fact that it's no coincidence that, to me at least, that Neil is stuck with largely the same front 4, front 3, however you want to look at it. And it's now over 6 hours. I think, was it 6 hours, 40 minutes, Jimmy?
Yeah.
That we've not scored a goal. And that's not me pointing the finger solely at Jayden Stockley, but he's part of that front 4, if you will, that aren't really offering anything, to be honest.
I think that comes back down to depth, though, because we've got real strikers at the club. You could say 3 if you include Barkey, but Nugent's a 34-year-old man that's nowhere near the player he was when we first had him. He's probably been utilised in different positions at Derby for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You got Stockley, who, if you don't play someone with him or within 5 yards of him, is ineffective. Because that's when he was effective against Rovers, because he had someone with him.
Yeah, I think DJ was basically running off him every time the ball went forward.
Yeah, in a 2, I think Stockley would be all right. I genuinely believe that. I don't think he's the answer in our system, especially because he doesn't fit our shape of play.
Yeah.
So unless Maguire tucks in with him, which means you're going to use an outlet to the left, and we'll come on to Maguire in a bit because he's completely off the boil at the minute.
Yeah.
You've got to keep Barkey wide because he's your outlet at the minute, and everything that we create at the minute comes from Tom Barkhuizen for me. And I was a bit surprised we took him off yesterday. I'd have took Maguire off myself because Maguire was ineffective all game. And I think we've got to start looking at his form, especially because he's completely out of form at the minute.
Yeah,
100%. I think that's one of the things I've picked up on as well in recent weeks. Maguire seems to have had like more of a free role to get close to Stockley, but he's just leaving the left-hand side completely exposed, not doing his job defensively. And he's just, as you said, Jimmy, he's probably on his worst run of form since we signed him, I'd say. He just looks like completely ineffective.
And I think we've been lucky, really, because to be fair to Joe Rafferty, he's been great at left back. He's not a left back, he's a right-footed player, but he's done a great job at left back, and he's sort of made it better. And he had to play yesterday because he had to switch sides yesterday because we've got no right back at the minute.
Yeah.
We are horrendously short of midfielders. We're losing DJ during the week, and obviously I know tweeted that it's looking between 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's another midfielder we're missing alongside Galley, and then missing Darnell, missing Ben Davies, missing Patrick Bauer. I think you look at yesterday, and if we took a point, I'd have probably been happy with the squad in it because we are pretty much down to bare bones now.
Yeah. It seems to have like crept up on us, to be honest. Obviously, I don't know what happened to Bauer, but all of a sudden we just seem to have gone since the international break absolute bare bones. So
that's what happens when you've got a thin squad.
Yeah,
the squad is your first 13, maybe 14 players are great, and will probably be a top 6 side with. But as soon as you get 4 or 5 injuries,
it kills you.
I think Galley was a big miss yesterday. He's not suited certain games, but especially with Ben Davies missing as well, there was just no one to get us playing on the ball.
Yeah.
So he was a big miss yesterday. And obviously, DJ's 6 to 8 weeks out apparently.
Yeah, well, there was that picture of him in the knee brace, wasn't there?
Yeah, Alan Brown's doing okay, but he's not. Something's not fully right with Alan Brown for me.
Yeah, again, he looks off it, doesn't he?
And I thought that obviously he's moved around a bit, but I thought that all season really it's not quite looked up to it. So that's a bit of an issue for the next 2 months as well. So
he's played in about 4 different positions, hasn't he? He's not really he's not had a run of games as a 10.
No. I think that's partly that's partly been the issue, but obviously you'd expect him and also Potts needs to step up as well now because he's had a couple of games. I'm quite a big fan of Potts, but it looks like he's hiding a bit on the pitch to me. I don't know if it's confidence again.
I'm the same as you, Ollie. I'm a fan of him, and I think earlier on in the season he was harshly getting criticised, but like I said, I didn't see yesterday. By all accounts, he was pretty poor. I didn't think he did too bad on Monday, but again, he was pretty poor. Not the worst I've seen him.
You know what you're going to get from Potts. If he does what he does well, then he's an effective player. But
bundles of energy. He can get up and down the pitch.
Yeah, and he
got a good shot on him.
And he can press. And yet last season he was getting into a lot of good positions, goal scoring. But to me, it just looks like he's hiding a bit here.
Well, that's the other thing about him. I don't think I've seen him take a shot from distance this season. Yeah. He was letting rip every opportunity last year.
It's confidence. It's got to be confidence.
Has to be.
Yeah, 5 starts this season for Potts.
Yeah. So it's obviously go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, obviously, he had a bit of the injury struggles at the start of the season, but he should have played enough minutes now to be into the swing of things.
Yeah.
He still looks off the pace. So you'd expect with DJ out, he'll get quite a few more games in the next couple of months. So we need him to get back to them levels because he's a good player at this level. Like when he's on it, but I think he's a major confidence player.
Where he was effective last season when he was been played out wide. I mean, we're playing him as a 10 at the minute, or against who's playing in the centre midfield. And I thought he did a job Monday night. It wasn't his greatest game because he's not been able to be free on the ball, but he did a job on there in the middle of the park. I thought he did an all right job Monday night.
I thought it was all right,
shape wise. He didn't create anything though, and for me yesterday he was a bit of a passenger. It just nothing came through him at all, and I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know what it is, but he's looked a shadow of himself from last season.
Last season when he was playing on the left, and he was like rotating with Galley for a bit, and basically Galley was the spare man for quite a lot. I think Bolton away springs to mind, and he was just it was Bolton or Blackburn, and he just dominated games, him and Galley, and it's just gone this season. So I don't know if he's more effective out wide.
Because he could that stood out for me. Stoke away as well. He played on the right and scored the first or second goal. He scored at Stoke, and he had a decent game there.
Yeah.
He had a decent game away at QPR.
Yeah.
With his goal, but nowhere near it. No goals, no assists.
No, nothing. Obviously, Monday night was decided by a pretty shit refereeing decision. Which it seemed like the whole country was on North End side for once.
Yeah, their lad scored yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, was it today? Yeah,
today.
Earlier today. Yeah, he scored today.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. And then, by all accounts, yesterday was another questionable one. I think Alex Neil said something along the lines of, I spoke to the referee, he said he wasn't sure, so he said he went and spoke to the linesman who said he didn't see it, so he gave the penalty.
I mean, I think obviously it was a questionable one, but I'm not going to say it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things for me yesterday. On Monday night, I felt a bit of
about that, because we just come into the game second half. We'd actually started playing second half, and then they scored completely against the run of play, that second goal. Because we'd actually just started.
We had a 10-minute spell.
It just seemed to kill us dead.
Yeah, I could just never see us really getting anything from that yesterday. But we've had our fair share of luck, I think, this season.
I don't think you can really argue with any of the penalties we've been given.
No, just generally, just with decisions here and there. But to be honest, I still couldn't tell if it was a penalty because the angle that I got an eye follow wasn't conclusive. But
I think he's using it more than anything. It's that Mark Pugh, isn't it? And I mean, he's an experienced professional who's bought it and he's sold the ref a dud, really.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's soft.
Yeah.
He's made any contact with him. Well, to be fair, Pugh's probably initiated the contact, but the ref can't guess. That's the second time a ref's guessed in a week.
Yeah. It's one thing.
I think when the ref's given it in the heat of the moment, I think he can't really overturn it if he doesn't. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. You rarely see them overturned.
Well, they can't really, can they?
You can overturn it, but you just rarely see it happen. So, but it was a class penalty. He was a class player in as well.
Is that Eze?
Yeah. Thought it was very good yesterday.
Yeah, thought he was quiet, but I thought Story did a job on him yesterday. Probably one of the better games I've seen back. Hunt. I thought the whole back five were all right yesterday, to be fair.
Yeah, I think
back in.
For the first, I think Hunt's got done far too easy, left a massive space, and then I think it might have been Ben Pearson didn't get the wrong side of his man. But that was the only thing. I thought they were both quite solid against two good strikers. I thought Hughes, you could tell Hughes takes a bit to get into his stride when he's come back. Wasn't great yesterday, but obviously he's been out for quite a while.
Yeah, I think he started 5 or played in 5 games this season up till yesterday or something like that, 5 or 6 games. Yeah. I just hope with Hughes now that he can, because aside from the last 6-8 weeks of last season, he never really had any injury problems last season, did he?
Yeah, it's been a weird one. I don't know if he's had a few different injuries or what's happened, but...
Well, I mean, one of them he can't really do much about, which is one that he's just come back from, which is the broken foot.
Yeah, I think he had was it his hamstring, and then he had a bang on the hip or something as well, so...
Yeah.
Sounds like he's been a bit unlucky.
Yeah, the broken foot one's definitely unlucky.
But he's good in the air. That's one thing he is. He's good in the air, and I thought he was all right in the air yesterday.
Yeah, just hope now that he can put a bit of a run of games together, build his fitness up.
We need him to, really.
Yeah, absolutely we do.
He wins on average 5.5 aerial battles a game, according to this. He's played 6 games this season, but he's played 90 in all of them. But for a left back to be winning 5.5 duels a game.
Yeah, that's one of his main strengths, I'd say. He's good in the air.
Yeah, for someone that's only like just over 6 foot, isn't he?
Yeah,
I don't even think he's 6 foot, is he?
He's got a good leap. Just watch his leap on Tuesday night. He's got a good leap.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think unless you two have got anything else to add, I'll go and make a brew.
Got one thing to add. Watch the ref tonight. We've got Keith Stroud. He's an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One to watch.
I'm not looking. Well, he was the ref. I think he ref today. Did he? Well, I didn't watch the West Brom games, but someone's mentioned that the ref was had a stinker today, and apparently it was Keith Stroud, and we've got him Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's going to be. Well, we know who's scoring on Tuesday night, don't we? So.
Yes, we do. Because he always bloody scores.
Just generally on refs, I think we've actually had the rub of the green this season until the last couple of games, I'd say.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I've not found myself coming off complaining about the referee for once.
No, I think, yeah. So.
Just last 2 games, isn't it?
Just last 2 games, yeah.
Bit of taste, but.
That tends to happen when you're playing shit as well. You get shit decisions when you're playing shit.
Just the way it goes, isn't it? As the saying goes, when your luck's out.
Yeah, what can you do?
Exactly. Right, is it brew time now, boys?
It is brew time.
Sweet. Right, I'll see you in part 2.
Nice one, mate.
Nice one. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the From the Finney podcast. We're going to have a chat about the injuries. We're going to discuss Alex Neil and his favourites. Going to look ahead to January. I know we did it last week, but go over it again. And then just round it off looking at the Fulham game on Tuesday. So, injuries. We kind of covered a little bit on injuries in part 1, talking about Hughes. Obviously, the latest injury that he's come back from, the broken foot, is just unlucky. I think that happened in the Rovers game, did it?
Broken toe, or was it a broken foot?
What is Summit?
Yeah. To be honest, I can't remember what happened.
I think he kicked. He kick the bottom of a Rovers player's boot or something like that.
I can't remember. I just remember him being absolutely clueless positionally because that was when Ben Davies was missing. He was having some kind of fit on that pitch then. But did he get subbed off at half time or not?
No.
Did he play the whole game at centre back?
Yeah. He was better in the second half, but he was that bad in the first. It wasn't really hard to improve.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault, to be fair.
But then obviously we've got Galley's out, Bauer's out, Fisher's out, Davis is out, DJ's out,
Andre Green.
I thought he was back fit.
No, he's injured, and Janelli's injured.
Janelli, Green. That's 7 players there.
Malt,
yeah.
Malt long term, yeah. I kind of don't count him because
Clark on his way back, in he, but still not really. Well, he was on the bench yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, first time I think for a while.
I think that was more needs must than anything else.
The thing is, we don't know about the extent of any. Well, certainly very, very few details about any of the injuries. So I don't really know. Do you remember when I mentioned Ben Davis making that block to you?
Yeah, you sent me a message.
That literally must have been about 2 months ago. Maybe 6 weeks ago.
I think, was it not
Leeds? Was it not Leeds? Was it not the Leeds game?
Yeah, it might have been.
But that's going back quite a way, that. So he's been struggling with something for a while. So I don't know if that's the same injury.
He's played quite a bit, obviously, since then, hasn't he?
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know what's happened to Bauer. Fisher got a bang on the leg at Derby.
Did Alex Neil not say Bauer was something in training?
Not sure. Don't know.
I could be making that up.
We just don't know if they're like impact injuries, muscle injuries, or what. It's just a mystery what's going on.
Yeah, which, as we've said in the past, is, as far as the opponent's concerned, is all well and good. But from a fan point of view, it's a bit frustrating when you don't know what's going on with your players.
Yeah, I'll just say the most worrying thing for me is not like when the injuries happen, we seem to have 4, 5, 6, 7 players. It goes back to what Jimmy said about depth, playing through an injury. So Ben Pearson's been playing through an injury. Obviously, Fisher was. DJ got injured against Charlton and then came back injured again.
Yeah.
Maguire's had a few of them. Obviously Hughes. So I don't know if we give the players enough time to recover. So I don't really know what goes on.
Because DJ, that sounds like we've rushed him back, and lo and behold, he's got a knock on the back of a knock. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he went down, didn't he, on Monday night, and struggled to get back up. And to be honest, I was surprised that he didn't go off. But obviously he played on, and to be honest, he looked okay through the rest of the game.
Yeah, and then obviously Bowden had the injury, Harrop had the injury, Nugent had an injury. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going on.
At this rate, there's only really Declan Rudd that's not being injured.
And Rafferty. Imagine if Rafferty was injured.
And Rafferty, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we had the audit in summer, but I don't know how effective that was.
I mean, early on,
to be honest,
like it was doing all right, or we learned from it.
At the start of the season, I thought Neil had started managing the players a lot better than he had done.
Yeah.
But now we seem to have reverted back to what's happened in the last couple of seasons, and it's led to an injury crisis. Has always coincided with 4, 5, 6 games without a win.
I think for me, the whole injury piece, it's frustrating because we were on the crest of a wave, and it only took that one defeat, and all of a sudden it's 1, 2, 3, 4 bounced really quickly, and we've lost probably another 3 or 4 players in that time as well. I think they're big players that we've lost, and they're through the core of the team. It's not like you're losing. We haven't got any strikers to lose anyway, but it's not like
you're losing the odd winger here or there or something like that. Yeah.
You've lost your 2 centre halves. You've lost your quarterbacks down midfielder that's probably linked us up more than anyone this season. You've lost your number 10 that's been in the form of his life. You've lost your right back who his shithousen's goes very much warranted a lot of the time, and actually gets us going a lot of time. Fisher, when Fisher plays well, we play well. I mean, when Fisher has a nightmare, I think generally speaking, North End don't play well either.
Yeah.
Losing the 2 centre halves is, given how well of a partnership they've formed together this past 15 games they're playing together. They're big players, as well as not having a natural left foot or 14 games.
Yeah. I don't think it was any coincidence that when them two have played together, I think we've only lost twice.
Yeah, it's no shock because it's forming partnerships, and for me, if you have your strongest 11 out, then they were more of a match for anyone in this league.
Absolutely, we are.
As soon as we look a little bit light in terms of numbers, then lo and behold, it falls to bits quite quickly.
Yeah.
I think there's certain players within that as well that you just can't replace. So this is no slight on Story, but when Ben Davies is not in the team, it's just a massive loss. Same as Gally, and the DJ's obviously been on fire this season. So they're the exact players.
It was the same as what Pearson was like last season.
The exact players that you don't want to lose are the ones that we've lost.
Yeah.
Which always seems to be the case. I can't put my finger on why. I don't think anyone will know why, really.
I don't think we're playing as intense though as on a match day, because we're nowhere near as pressing as high as we used to.
I've said this. The energy's not been there. I don't know if that's partly to do with trying to be less intense, trying to get less injuries, or if it's just, I don't know what it is, but this season we've been nowhere near as intense.
I mean, we're still starting well. I mean, we're still trying to blitz teams that first 15 minutes like we have been doing. I mean, if you look at, it's just not been as effective as it was last season. Last season, it was really effective, that blitz. At games, we were 2-3 up after 15 minutes. This season, it hasn't been as effective, especially in that moment where they've actually blitzed us in the first 15.
I think does that come down to an element of what we're going to come on to in the next section, and the gaffer having his favourites and maybe being a bit reluctant to change things around in order to try and keep things fresh?
This favourites piece, I'm not sure. Maybe I've just not seen it like that in terms of favourites. I mean, if we're talking about likes of Maguire, Potts, maybe. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Maguire especially. I mean, Maguire's off form, and I think it would be
there's no two ways about it. He absolutely is.
It'd be no surprise to me if he's dropped on Tuesday.
I think he needs to be. I think he just needs to be now. He needs to be taken out for his own good now.
Yeah.
He looks knackered.
Yeah.
I know that's. He's lost that sort of sharpness about him.
I don't think he has, because he had it at the start of the season.
Now he has.
Now he has. Yeah.
Burst. He's got no over 5 yards. When Maguire's on it, he'll absolutely rinse any fullback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He just lost decision making as well. He looks slower physically and mentally. So it needs to be taken out. And
his decision on Monday night to try and have a shot instead of squaring the ball back across for, I think, was it Barkey who was open at the back post. I think the thing with Maguire is people are quick to jump to conclusions about players and say he's overrated, he's shit, he's this, he's that. You've got to bear in mind form is a factor in professional football. It absolutely is. And the way Shawnee plays his game is high intensity, short sprints, quick bursts. He's no way going to be able to continue that, especially with his injury record last season.
He just looks jaded.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to continue that over a 46-game season.
Yeah, if you think back to who did he win 2 penalties against in the same game?
Was it Wednesday?
Yeah, if you think back to that, how sharp he was then.
Yeah.
He just looks I don't know if it's confidence, fitness, or what. He just looks completely different player. Yeah, just looks a different player.
He's played the 4th most minutes for us this season.
Mm.
And of the 3 guys ahead of him, Bauer, Pearson, and Rudd.
Yeah.
And Pearson's playing with an injury, and Deck's undroppable at the minute, unfortunately, because we don't have no competition.
Well, that's just circumstance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, with no competition for him.
Yeah.
So.
Where's Barkhusen on that list?
8th.
Is he? I thought he might have played ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Where's Brown on that list?
9th. So and 5th, 6th, and 7th is DJ injured, Rafferty, and Ben Davis injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
10th Darnell injured, 11th Galley injured.
When you put it like that, it's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely fucked.
Yeah, it is.
This is what I mean about, as soon as you get past that 11, because that top 11 in terms of minutes played is probably your best 11, to be honest with you, or give or take.
Yeah.
But there's lads that haven't hardly kicked a ball this season. That like Nugent. Nugent's played less football than Brad Potts, than Harrop, and Harrop's been injured for most of the season.
Yeah.
Than Bowden. Bowden's been out for quite a few games as well. It's just for me, it's a little bit frustrating that we've got players at the club that could do something.
Yeah.
Then probably not being given the chance to.
Nugent's had 2 injuries already in his time here.
He's 34. He's not going to be a spring chicken. He's not going to
I said it before. He's a fucking mascot. That's what he is this season. That's all he was signed for. That's all he was signed for.
And
he's the fans.
He wasn't a Neil signing.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't signed to play minutes because he's not effective.
There's a reason that they never released the length of his contract when they announced the signing, and Peter Ridsdale seemingly, or it certainly felt like he begrudgingly told a fan at the fans forum what his contract
was. 1+1, isn't it, I think. Is it one?
Yeah,
is it
this season and next.
Yeah, but next season's optional.
No, I don't think so.
I thought it was
Riddler never said anything about it, obviously, at the fans forum, but I don't know.
But I don't think the manager can have favourites really at the minute in terms of this thing that's going about. I know Shawnee's had an impact in the start of the season. He's burnt out. He needs replacing. Who do you replace him? You play Bowden in, don't you?
Yeah.
see this favourites tag. I just can't see it because he hasn't got enough players to have favourites.
There's just arguments that even when we're playing well, he could just rotate a bit more.
People can't even point Potts and say that he's a favourite. He's played 5 games this season.
But I just don't understand when we're playing well. Andre Green was fit earlier in the season. Bayliss has been fit all season. Obviously, I can't understand. Obviously, he sees training every day. Alex Neil, we don't. But I don't know why he can't get on the pitch.
Yeah.
It was a similar situation with their story last year. It was only, I think, after the cup game
but
there was a clamour from the fans to get him in.
I think it's completely different with a centre back. You can't bet a centre back in for the last 20 minutes of a game if you're winning. Well, you can, but you just don't see it, do you? But with someone like Bayliss, obviously he had a bit of an injury, but I just can't see why he's not playing more. Especially when obviously Potts, you trust Potts, and that's what it probably comes down to. But the other night, yesterday, like when you're looking for a goal, Potts was absolutely hiding on the pitch. Just put Bayliss on for 30 minutes. Just put Bayliss on, see what he can do.
You've nothing to lose, have you?
No.
If not, but I suppose Bayliss is untested now in the Championship. He's not played a minute in the Championship.
Yeah, but that's a bit worrying after August, September. Like 4 or 5 months, he's just not played.
And the outlay as well.
Yeah, I don't really understand why.
I think I said this when I was on last time, but the one position we didn't need strengthening in summer to spend 1.6, 1.8, whatever the fee is, was centre midfield. We just needed a 20-year-old centre midfield. I just didn't understand at the time. We were crying out for a left back. Shock horror. We've had an injury there. And we're crying out for a centre forward. We lose third game of the season, sorry. And you just look so much weaker there now, spending the money in the right place. And I think for January, that is something we've got to do, because otherwise then this is just going to peter out as a season. And then you've got summer's massive, because
this is if we do something, it's got to be this season.
Yeah,
everyone knows that.
We've said it a million times on the pod in the past, haven't we? And like you said, Ollie, I think everyone is well aware that something has to happen this season. Otherwise, Davis, likely Brown, likely Pearson. There's potentially a couple of others that could go. Barkey.
If you take Brown and Pearson out of this, if you take Davis, Brown, and Pearson out of this team, then you might as well just forget about it. Because Davis and Pearson definitely 2 absolutely vital players. So, and they're definitely off. Yeah. So
it's got to be done now.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be done this season. Neil knows that.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Just on the manager, if it doesn't happen this season, is he going to want to stick around to see another cycle of
Neil
players in, all that sort of stuff with the offers that he's had in the last few years? Absolutely no way.
No, Neil will be off.
He's rebuilt his reputation now, hasn't he?
Neil. I think Neil's not daft, is he? So. No. He didn't need to go to West Brom. He was never going to Stoke. But I think in summer he'll know the score. He'll any Championship team wanting the manager is going to be on their shortlist, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, and he's still very young. So it's going to be just going to be a summer of rebuilding. I think if we don't go up.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely will be.
That's why January we have to sign. I think we signed 5 players last January. I think only Potts made an impact. You could argue Stockley made a bit of an impact.
Yeah.
Only Potts really came in and made a big difference. We can't be doing that again. We need to sign 3-4 players ready to come and make an impact
straight away.
Yeah.
And whether they're loan signings that are brought in or whether they're permanents that are brought in, I suspect that if they're going to be bringing in first team quality players, that it's more than likely going to be loans.
I wouldn't even mind that as long as a good quality.
No, I'm not saying that's an issue. I just coming back to the spending. I can't. Sorry, go on, Jimmy.
Not utilise the loan market at all.
No.
Look at. I mean, you're getting Andre Green in, who's I suppose, a bit part player at Villa, to say the least, last season. It
Well, he
was
was
the
at
other.
Portsmouth first half of the season, wasn't
Yeah. Did he go back to Villa in the January, did he?
he?
Something like
Yeah.
He stayed there through the
Yeah. Scored
rest
a
of
couple. Scored a couple of big goals, but he didn't really play.
It was the other lad we should have got. Is it Keenan Davis?
Yeah.
One that was the lad who looked like the talent.
Yeah, and the forward as well.
Yeah. So it's just a little bit.
I think Dean Smith wanted to keep him around the first team, but he's not playing in the Prem, so
No.
might be one to look at. Because he's the type of profile that Neil likes up front.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We desperately need another. It just needs to be a mobile option up front who can genuinely cause defenders problems. Because Stockley, I don't care what anyone says, he is quite easy to defend against Stockley.
Because he doesn't move.
That'd be my concern, though. Would Villa trust us with another player coming in on loan when we've just had a lad off them?
Yeah.
And he's fairly highly rated. Now hasn't even. He's played 80 minutes, if that, for some appearances.
Yeah.
So
you'd say that it's probably unlikely, but you never know.
I think you try and rekindle something. Like, we were meant to have a decent relationship with City, weren't we? And there's players there that, especially in their under 23s, that would make an impact here. There's absolutely not. I think is it the centre midfielder? The English had the captain of the under 23s. He's been on the bench, I think, twice for the first this season, but looks a real player. He's played in all the Carling Cup games, apart from one against us.
We were interested in Nemecha's brother last season as well at one stage.
Really?
On loan, yeah.
Well, I said to you, actually, didn't I? I saw him at the ground after a night game.
One game.
He's a winger. I think he's a winger. So there's definitely players out there. Not sure. I just don't know which way we'll go. Which way we'll go with it.
It's for me. It's a make or break window.
Yeah.
Get it right, and hopefully with a bit of luck and some players coming back from injury, it'll see us through in the right way to the end of the season. Otherwise, we've fucked it.
Yeah, you just know there's going to be other teams. Say there's a top 10. You know there's going to be other teams up there making big loans from Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
You'll see more of that. I think we'll see more and more of that now.
Bristol City, Brentford, Fulham,
Swansea,
they'll all go out. They'll either spend big or they'll get some decent players in, some quality players in.
Yeah. I just can't be arsed. No offence to anyone, but I can't be arsed with any more highly rated League One signings.
No.
We're past that stage now. We need to be past that stage.
We've been linked with the lad at Bristol Rovers, haven't we? The striker.
Clark Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he going to come in and make an impact? I just don't know. I know it's hard to sign players that you know are going to make an impact, but there's no point in signing more and more of these players. I
think any signing if they're dropping down from the Premier League, then they've got to have that hunger and ambition to actually want to do it in our league.
Yeah.
Got someone that's on the up and is a League One striker that's doing it in League One, that is actually scoring goals. And I don't mean a Nolan Doyle type of player that's scoring goals at League Two, a bit like Stockley was, because then that's as high as Stockley had played before he joined us.
Yeah.
League One's it's quite a big step up now, especially in the top 10 of that league.
Yeah.
It's in that league now, and
if you're scoring in League One and you've got some kind of physicality, there's a chance.
Yeah, you've got
players like Doyle. You've got to have some kind. You've got to be mobile. You've got to be quick, or you've got to be strong. Louis Malt doesn't really have any of them. Owen Doyle didn't really have any of them. So you need that to make an impact.
Yeah, I think there is the odd gem out there, but
yeah.
I think as we've seen with Bayliss, then if Bayliss is starting a lot of the Coventry games last season and then can't even get a kick in our team, then it's really a golfing class, or we've been sold a dud. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Well, Carlin Grant was one we were linked to last January, wasn't he? And obviously,
I think it was a bit before that.
Yeah, maybe it was in the summer before.
Yeah, it was a bit. We were definitely interested in him.
And obviously,
but I said that's the other thing. He has so much power. If you've got physicality, there's always a chance. And it's same as Ivan Toney as well. I think summer before last summer.
Yeah, was it
2018.
750 grand we had a deal agreed, and he ended up choosing Posh over us.
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but that's the kind of player. And now he'll probably be going for 3, 4, 5 mil.
Yeah, so, again out of our price range.
Yeah,
but
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's a pivotal window.
They'll have obviously players lined up and that, but
yeah, of course they will. They'd be foolish not to.
Yeah, just interesting to see how they play.
You are.
Well, we've got to have. We think we've got to have players lined up, but this is Preston runabout. This is the team, this club that's just made 4 signings in the summer just gone when we needed probably 6 or 7, including a left back, including a striker that wasn't a 34-year-old, and we've not made the signings that we needed. You know, you look at the 4 signings we made in the summer, we didn't actually need 3 of them. The only one we needed was Bauer, and it was quite evident he was going to be the part after the playoff final. As long as we got him above Rovers, which we did, you know, he was going to be a player. But we didn't need Nugent for me. I think we needed a quality stretch centre forward that's probably mid-20s.
That for me was just done to appease the fans. I think the owner and the club will have known that they were never going to spend the money that was coming in from the Callum Robinson deal. So.
Well, that's just frustrating from a fan's point of view.
Yeah, because Robbo was sold, and then 3-4 days later, Nugent was in, and it's like everyone's forgot about the Robinson sale, and then all summer people are clamouring about Nugent and not focusing on.
Anyone who's not Yadar knew that wouldn't be a good signing.
Oh, there's plenty of them around.
No, that was a shocker. But I just hope these injuries aren't gonna get away from what we actually need. Like, we need a new keeper as well. If we're gonna be serious, I think we need a new keeper.
Yeah, we do. But don't get me wrong. I've said it before. Deck's improved this season, but when we were top of the league or second in the league, I think I said on the pod that we were where we were in spite of Declan, not because of him.
It's not done much wrong for me in recent weeks, but I think we just still need better. But are we going to ignore that now because other positions are more of a priority? I don't know.
He's out of contract in summer still.
Yeah.
So we do.
He's got an offer on the table, hasn't he? By all accounts.
Well, he's just not. It's been on the table since September, hasn't
it?
Yeah.
3 months down the line now. It's either. You know, he can talk to other clubs. He can talk to Scottish clubs in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, any club outside of England, isn't it? He can talk to in January.
Yeah. So, I don't think a foreign club's going to take him. We might go to Scotland, but I don't.
There's been the interest from Rangers allegedly, aren't there?
Yeah. Well, they've got an old keeper. They've got Alan McGregor in net, so they probably do need one. But can you imagine him making the mistakes that he's made for us for Rangers?
He'd be crucified, wouldn't he?
That's what I mean. So it's like. I suppose
tasty language from you, Jake.
You are?
Tasty language from you.
What, crucified?
Yeah, on today's day.
Oh shit, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean, he would, but
yeah.
But just with the keeper situation, you've got Ripley who's come in, not really done much apart from the City game. Had an alright game. It didn't impact the end of last season when he got the chance. But obviously was signed for good money.
Yeah.
Not paid peanuts for him. So who can you get? You've got to look at it in January and think, who can we get that's above his standard, probably above Wood's standard as well, that's going to be within our price range. And to be fair, there's not a million keepers out there that could probably do that unless we're getting a loan. Now they're talking about this lad from Liverpool, the kid that's playing the Carling Cup, but you're getting a kid in that's untested. You know, when we got Pickford in, at least he'd got.
Yeah, he'd been out League 2, League 1.
Yeah, he'd got 70 or 80 EFL games under his belt.
Yeah, same with Johnston.
Yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said a few weeks ago. If you sign a keeper now, it's always going to be a risk because there's no guarantee they're going to be better.
No.
And the likelihood is there will be like a young lad who's not playing many games. So it's a bit of a sticky situation, that one.
Well, there's that O'Hara.
And then if you drop Broad, and then the new keeper comes in and he's struggling, you put him back in, and then you're taking him out. It's like the Rudd and Maxwell situation
all over again.
Yeah, so that's a bit of an awkward one. Definitely need a striker. Whatever happens with Andre Green, probably need another option there.
Yeah.
And we need a fullback. So
We need to make sure we don't lose any as well. I know
Yeah.
the manager said we're not going to lose anybody, come what may, but end of the day, if this run continues and we do fall out the picture for the playoffs and automatics, then I might be funny, but players will have a price at that point.
yeah, of course we will. I think we've got enough games in now that we'll still be. We've got enough points on the board that we won't be out of the picture by January.
No, I think this season we're well placed enough to have a good run at the playoffs.
Yeah,
To be honest,
tight.
that has to be our aim now.
Yeah,
that has to be our aim.
I think obviously that's why we're so pissed off with the West Brom result, because I think they're now 14 points ahead.
Yeah, it's something I think we're 15 points off the drop zone and 14 points off top. It's just completely changed in terms of space of 5 games.
Yeah. That's how quick it can change, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Tuesday then. Obviously, we mentioned before it's highly likely that Mitrovic is going to score.
I think it's just a question of how many he'll score.
Yeah.
But be nice to see Tom Kearney as well. What a player! But I think they've picked up a bit recently.
Yeah.
I think at the start, Scott Parker was doing a few weird things, playing 5 at the back, playing inverted wing backs and all this weird stuff. But they've gone back to, I think they're playing 4-3-3 again now. I think he's the best striker in the league for me, and they've got some very good players, haven't they? So.
Isn't it 100 grand a week or something silly at Fulham?
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean,
wouldn't surprise me. He guarantees you 25 goals, don't he? 30 goals.
Well, he got 13 already, is it?
Yeah, I think maybe 14 now. I think 13, 14. Yeah.
Not even halfway through the season yet.
Yeah, you know what you're gonna get, and obviously Knockout on the wing. Caballero, Tom Kearney, Harrison Reed's a good player as well. Is he? Yeah.
And then they got Bobby Reed as well, aren't they?
Yeah. So you know how good they're gonna be. I think we'll set up in a sort of similar way to what we did on Saturday. I think Potts will play again. Brown will play again. I think Stockley will keep his place.
Yeah.
I think obviously Barkey, maybe Harrop will come in.
I think he has to.
You'd hope so. And then who knows who's going to be back injury-wise. Obviously DJ won't be, but Galley, Davis, Bauer, Fisher.
Who knows?
You'd hope you've got 1 or 2 of them back, but you just don't know, do you?
No.
They're going to dominate the game in terms of possession. I mean, they had nearly 70% possession yesterday against Bristol City. I know they got beat. They're getting shots away. I mean, 21 shots yesterday, 69 point something possession, and the squad is full of Premier League quality.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing for me is that we've got to start well tomorrow. I know we're on a bad run of form, but we've got to start and get in the face early.
Yeah,
it's up to the players to sort this out now. Obviously, the manager as well.
The manager's got to take a bit of responsibility on it, because I think the whole game he's got to take the flak, especially for the mess with Ledson. Switching fullbacks at half time. Well, shock I'll let you. That was just stupid, and I've never seen something so daft. Yeah, he's getting ripped on one side. I know what we'll do. We'll put him on his weaker side and get him ripped on that side as well.
Yeah,
shock horror. Yeah, but yesterday I did feel a little bit sorry for him yesterday, because there's not a lot he can do. He makes a positive change in terms of when he made that first sub, and we can see the penalty 2 minutes later, and it's like, well, we're going into a game, and then all of a sudden it's going backwards. But I think we start strong. I don't know if Davis or Bow will be back. That'd be an interesting call if he drops out them too, because I don't think Hunt's has actually done that much wrong, apart from getting caught out a little bit for the first goal yesterday. Story had a decent game against Hugill, but it's who you put up against Mitrovic.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And then obviously the rest of their lineup that follows in terms of cavalry after that. They have Caballero, was it?
Caballero on loan from Wolves. We got Knockout on loan from Brighton, and the
Kamara as well, good player.
Boubacar Kamara.
They've got good players.
Yeah, Bobby
Reed has got in the fullback.
Adoy and not sure. No, it's the lad who was at Bristol City. Joe Bryan.
Yeah.
Not a bad player, to be fair.
No.
They've got quality all over the pitch. They're like Leeds. They're similar to Leeds for me. They just got good players all over the pitch, and they'll play a certain way.
Certainly going to be interesting. Let's just hope it's not a long Tuesday night.
Yeah. Another thing I'd say is I think, apart from the Blackburn game, I think we scored first in pretty much every game that we played. We've not scored first, obviously not scored, but that first goal is just massive, especially when you're on the run of form we're in.
Yeah.
So, and we went through a stage of scoring early goals at Deepdale this season.
Yeah, early on we did, didn't we?
Yeah, but we just need that goal from somewhere. We're just lacking quality and confidence, I think.
Yeah, so it only takes, it'd be typical of Preston tomorrow or Tuesday, to turn up and put 3 past them. You know what I mean?
Like Norwich last season.
Like coming off, a couple of bad performances and then completely taking it out on someone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be Fulham because they're a good side, but
yeah,
we're due one of them. It might be Luton that get the spanking at weekend, but
it's coming. Yeah, I think certain players need a goal.
We've scored first in 12 of our 20 games this year.
Well, I'd guess we've won the majority of them.
Yeah, I think we've probably won 9. I think we've won 9 of them, 8 or 9. But at Deepdale, I reckon we'd score first. In obviously West Brom, we didn't score first. Bristol City, and Blackburn, but we've started well in pretty much all the games at Deepdale.
Yeah, no, we have. I agree. It's like you said, it's key on Tuesday night. Absolutely key.
Certain players need a goal. Then obviously Maguire needs a goal. Barkey could get on the score sheet against Stockley. So Harrop's done all right for me when he's been on the pitch.
Yeah, it's just been unfortunate, obviously, with injuries and then not getting picked.
So was Bowden. I hope one of them gets a start anyway.
So. I'll be gobsmacked if they don't. If not because of Maguire, then just because the run of games we've got coming up is just mental. There has to be rotation.
Yeah. Let's just hope we score.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's bring an end to this barren spell. I think we'll call that a pod, boys.
Right, nice one.
Sweet. Cheers. Thank you very much. And thank you to you, listener, for listening to episode 25 of the From the Finney podcast. As I said at the start, you can find us on all social media and we're streamable on the majority of podcast platforms now. If you want to get in touch with us about a sponsorship or anything else, our email address is just fromthefinney@gmail.com, or our DMs are open on Twitter or Facebook. Finally, thank you very much, boys. Much appreciated. Jimmy, thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having us.
Nice one, lads.
Thanks as always, Ollie.
Cheers, Jake.
Cheers, boys.
See you later.
See you in a bit.